This video is brought to you by Robinhood, the investment brokers that let you buy stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies all commission free. There's still time to take advantage of this historic 2020 stock market crash, and if you sign up using the link in the description below, you'll instantly receive one free stock without even depositing a single penny. No, this still isn't my real portfolio, but I have added to it a bit, like the stock on your screen. That's Cody. They make like makeup, Revlon, stuff like that. What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got some extra spicy duels for you guys to check out, featuring of course our Barian Emperor Don 1000. At this point, I think we just all have to accept the fact that Lord Don 1000 is going to rule over the TCG. These Numeron cards are OP, and I feel like they're going to be probably in like half of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. It doesn't really matter what they are, as long as the Duelist has a functioning brain, they can take advantage of these cards. In fact, you guys see Numeron Time Lords at the top, so we got a couple of villains putting in some work together here, and then we have Numeron Generators at the bottom. Generators has always been a deck that only has like one good normal summon, and they lead themselves to be kind of useful in conjunction with other powerful engines. But I believe that these are going to take over the game, and there's actually a couple of spicy plays in here. Some of them I didn't even think about. And by the way, if you guys like seeing awesome duels like this, you like seeing this dank action, do me a favor and give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me know that you guys are enjoying the content, and more importantly, it helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps the channel grow. Anyways, let's go ahead and roll this, and you see some of the spicy tech in the opening hand. So one of the things you can do is, if this engine does get ultimately as big as I believe, you can start playing this card, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. So obviously she hasn't seen play in quite some time, but to me, Winter Cherries is a card that really hasn't lost any power. It's just not very popular right now. I mean, most of the time she is going to be a neg 1. However, it is a super solid card, and not only does it guarantee you're not going to get an S0 dropped on your face, but it can also double if your opponent, like let's just say the Red Eyes Dart Dragoon engine becomes incredibly popular as well in the TCG, you can use it as a double for that. So he's going to go ahead and take out S0. Now, I will tell you guys straight up, there are some downsides with using Winter Cherries, because number one, your opponent can still go into an Appaloosa for 4, and number two, they can still go into like a Mega Clop, so they can still make some plays here. But luckily, his opponent doesn't play those, and when your opponent does this play, they go into the number C1. This is fine, but it doesn't really do anything. It just gives them a 2000 attack beater that comes back. Like, that's really not that OP. Not something that you need to be concerned about. Anyways, he is playing Generators, and that means that, you activate Generator stage, you get yourself a Horror from your deck, and then you get free negation and kind of like that free mini Dark Law. So this is one of the reasons I love Generators. I just think that Horror, I feel like Horror is just, it makes the entire deck worth playing, to be honest. Horror is just that good. Anyways, it didn't look like it was going to be all that good for Time Lords, because Time Lords are a little slower. It takes them a little while to kind of get ramped up. He's going to get impermanence here on the Zaphion, so no effect there. And then when he uses advanced draw, well, if you draw cards, then obviously Horror's effect can kick in, and that means the Planet Pathfinder not gonna actually hit the field. So actually, well, you know what, that's cool. This is 200 IQ. I didn't realize this. He discarded it to basically use it as a Twin Twister, knowing that he was gonna have to discard it anyways. All right, I see you, Time Lord player, 200 IQ. Now that player, the Generator player is just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna lose these cards anyways. I might as well just get an impermanence or something like that. And he's going to activate the field spell, but we knew that, the Horror hadn't activated its effect, so it was going to get negated. And this is where you're like, dang, Cap, so close to winning the duel, until you realize we got a Monster Reborn in our hand. Gonna Monster Reborn the opponent's Numeron wall. Forget about 200 IQ. This is like 400 IQ. Then activate the effect, get our Numeron network from our deck and Numeron Calling, and then we can proceed to easily OTK the Generator deck. We ain't worried about no freaking infinite permanence that set. That is not going to stop anything, and we can do enough battle damage too. If we don't OTK here and clear, well, okay, never mind, we just OTK. I was gonna say, even if we didn't OTK, the horror was going to get taken off the board. I'm sorry, I don't like that TCG name. What was the point of naming it horror instead of horror, which at least sound like horror? Anyways, horror was gonna get taken off the board, as well as the Generator tokens, and this player would have been in a good position at the top with the Time Lords, but he just ended up winning during that turn. So You guys are going to see a lot of this, by the way, where Monster Reborns and resolving the field spell is going to be like way important. Basically, whoever resolves it successfully is probably going to win the duel. Anyways, game 2 is going to be a quick kind of run back, and you see once again Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries instantly kicking in and basically making sure that your opponent is not going to be able to S0 you. Again, I personally think that if you do get S0 or if you do get Cherried and they take away S0, I'd be okay with getting an Appaloosa for 4, or personally I would probably go for Mega Clops because I think that card just can win the game, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Now, Twin Twisters, but you know, as someone who has played generators a lot, I can tell you Twin Twister is like the bane of this deck's existence, because if they Twin Twister you in the draw phase, this card does not resolve, and if you don't resolve generator stage, you're basically not even playing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. So he is ultimately going to activate his copy of Generator Boss Fight. Yeah, Generator Boss Fight, and then Trap Trick. He obviously needs to activate the Generator Boss Fight now, otherwise he will, you know, not be able to use any more trap cards except, well, he'll get one more trap activation. So he's probably just going to activate that and get himself another copy of a spell, and this is going to be interesting, right? He's going to hit him with that Artifact Sanctum, and I was like, okay, you clearly can't lose after this. Not only do you have a Generator Boss stage that's going to resolve and get you hard from your deck, but then you got the Artifact Sight, so your opponent's gonna be locked out of the extra deck. There's no way to lose this. Or is there a way to lose this? Because before the tokens are on the field, Har can't use its effect. It can't tribute 2 generator monsters if there's only 1 on field. So this means he can hit him with that impermanence as Chain Link 3. That means that we are not locked out of our extra deck when it comes to the Scythe. And he still has the Kaiju too, so the Gambusil can take the Har off the field. And I think that that's what we might actually see. Yep, Har is going to get negated, and now this is the downside of generators, by the way. When you're forced to summon, you're forced to summon these tokens in attack mode, and if your opponent can summon a bunch of monsters, sometimes they can actually just kill you through these tokens just because they're in attack mode, as we see right here with the Numeron network into Numeron calling into the 4XC monsters. He's going to scoop it up because he knows there's no way that I'm going to survive this. Again, these little monsters, man, the first time I read these guys, I really didn't think much of them until I learned that, okay, you can just summon all 4 of them simultaneously and go pretty much 8 you-know-what on your opponent. And that's how we do it, guys. Even when your opponent goes first, they think they're going to cheese you with that S0. There are some ways to actually deal with it, and you might see a lot of decks end up basically coming down to who actually resolves this is the player who ultimately is going to win the duel. Anyways, let's pause for 1 quick second. Actually, I don't need to pause. I'm trolling. I can just show you guys both of the decks because I believe I pulled them up ahead of time. Yes, so here is the Numeron Time Lord build, and as I said in previous videos, again, I don't know when you guys will see this, I believe that we're going to see an engine, probably an engine of maybe about 7 to 10, or I guess 7 to like 12 cards. It's going to be an engine that you're just going to see in tons of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. It'll be a larger engine, but I mean, some builds will run Planet Pathfinder, some builds won't. I think most builds or most decks in the game that are playing these Numeron cards, you're going to pretty much see Numeron Wall in all of them. You're going to see Numeron Network and Numeron Calling in all of them. I still believe you only have to run 1 copy of Calling, because if you do hard draw it, well, you can just activate it from your hand as a spell card. But if you, as long as you're not like playing Desires and banishing it, like I think you're perfectly fine. Yeah, this build is you know, it's a build that can go first or go second. That's another reason why the Numeron cards are so strong. They give decks that really don't have good turn 1 plays actual turn 1 plays. Generator is a deck that doesn't really have a good turn 1 play. Same thing with Time Lords. Like, what are you doing in Time Lords turn 1? You're not really doing anything, but now you get the ability to make like the S0 and stuff like that. When you go to the Generator deck, and I'm not gonna lie, as someone who's played a lot of generators, this build looks super solid. The only thing that I don't particularly love about this build is I don't know if I'm feeling the Droll and Lockbirds in the main deck. Like I get the rest of the hand traps. You got Veiler, you have Ash, you got Impermanence, you have your Power Go Second cards and Lightning Storm. So this deck is looking to go first or second, but Droll's the only one where I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like that should be maybe Forbidden Chalice. I feel like, yeah, Chalice would probably be a little more effective, because I just don't know if there's a deck in the meta that really gets slammed by Droll and Lockbird to the point where it's like worth main decking. Maybe like Madoche is like the only deck that really gets ripped to shreds. There probably is something that I'm not thinking about, but I just don't feel like it's worth being main decked. Anyways, if you guys are interested in these builds, of course they will be in the link in their links will be in the description below. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.